Hi, I'm Joy.
Hi, I'm Lorraine.
And this is Girlish Gurus. And Lorraine, why are we here?
We're here to talk about mid-lifestyle topics for women who are 45 and older to help you live your best, healthiest, and most fulfilled life. We're also going to have lots of fun along the way.
So let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Girlish Gurus. I'm Joy.
And I'm Lorraine.
Lorraine, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about how to celebrate milestone birthdays with experiences, incorporating family and friends. And the reason that we picked this, there was an article that came out the beginning of this year, I think it was like in February, and it was called, I wasn't sure how to celebrate turning 70, then I sent an email that changed my entire year. And that was by Megan Verid, and it was published in the Huffington Post. And I was so impressed by this article, and I said, what a fantastic idea, because I'm all about, well, you know me, I have like FOMO, right? Fear of missing out.
Like every normal person.
Yeah. And so as I get older, I realize it's less about stuff and more about sharing time with the people that you love. And I know this is especially meaningful for you right now, and I'm actually going to get choked up just right off the bat.
I know, we should have brought our Kleenex boxes for this, you know?
Yeah, but Joy, maybe you can share a little bit about what's been going on in your life this past year, and especially the past few weeks.
So we lost my father-in-law on October 20th, and that was after a prolonged illness. In February of this year, mid-February, he had a massive heart attack, and he was a significant diabetic. And so for the last, 5 or 6 years, he's been managing his diabetes issue. And before that, his kidneys had started to decline. And that heart attack in February, we didn't think he was going to survive it. Mm-hmm. Well, miraculously, he did, but the exploratory surgery that they had to do in order to determine the amount of damage to his heart and et cetera, that caused his kidneys to go in full failure. And so he had to start dialysis, and for the last 8 months, he's been on dialysis, and we've been managing that situation. My husband and I moved into the second floor of their house to help take care of him, and it's been a huge life-altering existence, and it's been very difficult. He had a really rough go of it. Mm-hmm. Those 8 months in and out of the hospital, just really a very difficult time. And so we lost him here a few weeks ago, and it's been hard, very, very hard.
Yeah.
Watching him decline and then ultimately pass away. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that you and I have shared many meals discussing all of this, right? Being that generation now who's caring for elderly parents.
Right.
As
you
well
have
as
elderly
children.
parents too, right?
Yeah. And I know that we want to spend as much time as we can and have quality time with them and be able to help them when they need the help. And I know that you and your husband have been so
hands-on, really.
Well, hands-on, but also saints, really.
Oh.
I mean, as children, you love
My
your
husband,
parents.
yes.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I would call Joy a saint. No, I'm kidding.
Please, I need
Joy,
all the laughs I can get. So
I'm just kidding. I tell her this all the time, that she really is. She is such a giving, caring person. And she was there for her in-laws and still is for your mother-in-law. You're still there and have given so much of your time. I thought about this the other day when you took Al, his name is Al, out for breakfast that morning. You said he loved the experience of it. He really wasn't able to eat that much, but just like having that time with you and just sitting there and being out of the house and doing something and spending that time together. And it just hit me the other day that how thankful you should be, and I'm sure you are.
You're going to make me bawl on the podcast.
But that you had those moments.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for everybody in the family. We were able to take him with us to the beach in August, and that was with the whole family. That was with my sister-in-law, Juliet. She's been on the podcast before, and her 2 girls, and her husband, Ken, and my husband and myself, and my mother-in-law. We all got to go to the beach, and we spent that week just playing games and hanging out, and all of us did as much as we could to try to help him get through these last few days as comfortably and as easily as possible. So
yeah, and yet knowing that could possibly be the last vacation you would share with him.
We all commented about it. Yeah. So when you talked about this podcast episode and you talked about the 70 things, it really was very poignant for me because I think back on his life and all the things that he got to do. So don't leave your cards on the table. Make sure you have the opportunity to experience as much as you possibly can that you want to experience.
Yeah. And like, that's why I have my little quote that I love to share about take the time, for there will come a time when there is no more time.
Yep. And that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch that happen and it's hard to experience it. But at the same time, he was well loved and the family was around him. And, you know, there's a beautiful thing in watching people come together to take care of their elderly loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to give them as much as they possibly can, the wishes that they most desire.
Yeah.
You know? But at the same time, I do think it's important to maybe look back and maybe take stock of things and just have as many experiences as you possibly can.
Yeah. For me, I'm fortunate. I still have both of my parents. My dad will be 93. My mom's birthday is next week. She'll be 86. And just yesterday, my two sisters, who fortunately live close by, so we're all able to help out, the three of us took them out for lunch. And we try to do that every once in a while and have a lot of laughs and talk and maybe get a little aggravated with each other, too.
Well, but family.
That's
yes.
family dynamics. But I feel so fortunate to be able to do that and to live close by and be able to share those times with them. I actually wanted to take them to see that movie that's out now with Tom Hanks here. But my dad really doesn't enjoy going to the movies anymore because basically he sits in one of those chairs and falls asleep as soon as he sits in it. So, and they said, but we know you want to see it, so we'll go. I said, no, that's okay. We don't have to do that. But I feel like those are like easy things to be able to take them to do because my mom doesn't get around as well anymore. My dad, for 93, he's great. He can go and do everything. But for her, it's a little bit difficult. So I try to think of things that we can do that maybe isn't like over the top for them, but they still get to have experiences. Because they used to go with us to the beach. They used to do those things. They used to fly, but they just don't have the capacity to do that anymore, emotionally or physically.
Right. It's almost too much for them. Well, I put together a little tribute, and we're going to talk about this in our next episode. We're going to talk about creativity a little. But I have another podcast with my sister-in-law, Juliet, called Everyday Macaroni.
Which is so great.
It has been a real fun experience to work on. We have been on hiatus a little bit because of the situation with Al, but I put together a tribute about Al using one of the episodes that we recorded early on when we first started the podcast, and I posted it on YouTube, just like I do with this podcast. I posted it on our YouTube channel. You just go on YouTube and search Everyday Macaroni. And what I did was I took the audio clip from that podcast episode, and then I just went through all of the pictures that we had from his whole entire life and
what a wonderful thing.
Put them on top of that audio track. So it's a video of all these pictures of him starting out as a child, all the way from getting married, coming to the United States. He was a pilot. He flew small engine aircraft, and he started that in Uruguay, coming to the United States, emigrating here, becoming a naturalized citizen, meeting his wife, Lita, and then getting married, having children, all those things, the grandchildren, Juliet, getting married, all those big life events and all the things that he did. And it was really fun to look through all of those pictures and to look back on his life. And so, I mean, if you want to go watch it, you can.
Yeah, and which I didn't even know about this. So now after this, I'm going to watch it.
Well, it's a podcast episode with the pictures on top of it. But it was really something to see all of the things he experienced in his life. And that was a lot of fun and very uplifting to work on. So, yeah, he had a good life. Just like your parents have had quite the life.
Yeah. And I know in the next episode when we talk about creativity, which is our next episode, I'll be sharing a lot about my dad.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. But what I wanted to share specifically about this article that this woman wrote, because it just hit me, and I actually reached out to her to see if we could have her as a guest. But once this article came out, she is inundated with interviews and
because it's so good.
Yeah, really. I think it just strikes a chord with so many people because you realize as you get older, man, there's so many things I want to do and there's so little time,
right?
You know? So I wanted to read the letter. So she sent out an email to all of her friends and family, what her wishes were for her. She was 69 at the time. So she said, my 70th birthday is coming up. And I was thinking about how do I want to celebrate it? So this was the letter that she created. And then after this, we're going to talk about maybe what we would share in our letters.
Right.
Okay. So she said on January 4th, 2023, she composed this email. Dear person I love, having just rolled past 69, I am thinking about the large number looming on the horizon. To honor that large number, I want to log in 70 experiences in 2023 with people I love. My goal is to say yes to whatever you might propose, no matter how big or small. Anything from a cup of coffee to a trip to a national park, from a walk in the woods to a Broadway show, from a manicure to a dance party. But please, no thrill seeking. I think I would add this in mine.
For sure. Yeah.
No roller coasters or bungee jumping, and nothing that involves a shark tank. I look forward to saying yes to your proposal, to a calendar full of one-of-a-kind events, and to fully enjoying memorable moments with you. With love, Megan. Mm-hmm. And I just said, you know what? Because I'm always trying to think of things to do. I just got back with my grandkids, two of our granddaughters, my husband and I. We took them to Disney World. And as they each turned 10, I've got 7 grandchildren. That's the experience. You know, we want to take them just by ourselves without their parents. And we had like the best time. We shared a room with tweens, which was very interesting, with the hair glitter and the outfits and the whole thing. But the 4 of us had the best time. And I know that that's what's important. That's what they're going to remember years from now. Mm-hmm. Not that toy I bought them, not that one. It's experiences. And one of the other things that we love to do as gifts to our children, rather than giving them a material gift, we book a vacation, a summer vacation, where the whole family comes together each year. And my husband and I take care of that. And that's our gift to them so that we can spend time as a family. We went to the mountains last year. We're going to go to the beach this year, which that's mostly what we do is go to the beach. Yeah. But I love this idea of reaching out to extended family, to friends everywhere, because I think having them put it on their calendar as well as you put it on your calendar, you just set that intention rather than, oh, I don't have the time, or when am I going to get a chance to do that? When am I going to travel here? Because we have family everywhere, from Florida to New York to, wherever, Rome. But yeah.
Where you visited.
I do. And I make a point of it when we're doing our retreats. I make sure I stop and see my relatives. But I think having that intention, making it a priority, and each of you putting it on your calendar and knowing that it's a gift to someone when you're on the other end of it, knowing that you're giving someone a gift of enjoying their company and experiencing something with them, I think just makes it extra special.
Right. I agree. And the other thing I was thinking about when I read this, when she sends the email out, she's saying, you propose the experience.
Yeah.
It's not like she's saying, hey, do you want to get together and do whatever?
Yeah.
She's saying, you tell me what kind of experience you want to have.
Yeah.
And in a way, I think to myself, okay, if I send out a letter, A, I wonder how many people would respond. And B, I wonder what they would say. They'd probably be like, well, I don't know. I don't know that I have the time to go to a cartoon festival somewhere or something like that, So it's interesting how she constructed it. You guys choose what you want to do. So they're an active participant as well.
Right. And she did share, like, later on, if you have the choice of doing that, or if you want to create the experiences and say, do you want to share this with me? You could do that as well. But I do like the other idea. I like, okay, you tell me what you want to do. And some of the things that she did were, she went to Holland and she ate the biggest and tastiest artichoke at Cafe Restaurant Amsterdam. She drove the North Coast 500 in Scotland with her husband and tasted her favorite scotch.
Right.
At the distilleries there. I know that she met up with friends. Oh, she embraced the glee of playing tourist in her own hometown while riding the hop-on, hop-off bus through San Francisco. So even things that maybe she, that we take for granted in the areas that we live. She took advantage of them, and she spent time with friends doing that.
She kayaked the bay with her husband. She went to the Monterey Pop Festival with a frenemy from when she was a kid.
Yeah.
Which
that they've reconnected and have a new relationship
which
now.
I found that was entertaining. They were like rivals in school.
Yeah. So many things that she did. Like she said, from having a cup of coffee with a friend to sharing martinis somewhere. With one friend, she went to see a show. And so all different experiences. And she said her one problem that she saw was, how was I going to fit in 6 activities a month?
Right.
Between her writing schedule and everything else. But she did it. And she said it was like the best year ever. So Joy.
Here we go.
What would you put in your letter, do you think, to your friends and family?
Well, I liked her letter.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of said it all.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would make any substantial changes. I definitely am on the same track as her in that I would not want thrill-seeking circumstances. I think I would want to say, let's do an activity that you would enjoy as well.
Right.
So my fear about that is I don't want them to feel stressed that they're going to have to pick something that they would think And
it doesn't have to be like astronomical.
It's me focused.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be me focused.
Yeah.
I think it would be something that the other person should enjoy as well.
Right. I mean, it could be simple things like forest bathing, right? Going for a walk in the forest, hiking, whatever. Simple. I agree with you. I loved her letter. But what I think one thing that I would add was exactly what you said. No pressure.
Right.
It could be as simple as a cup of coffee
right.
and just start from there so that at least they're thinking, oh my God, this doesn't have to be like something like over the top that like, well, I can't think of anything or I don't have the money to do anything.
Right.
You know?
And I would say, because I know people all over the United States, I would say, I'll come to you.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about trying to travel somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit younger than she is. So I think that would make it a little easier because I would have fewer experiences per month to get to my next big birthday. And it's going to be a while.
But it doesn't even have to be a milestone birthday.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you're a little bit younger, it might be a little bit easier to make this happen for yourself. And it's kind of like time compounding when you're saving for retirement. The earlier you start working on it, the less pressure there is maybe.
Yeah. And also, this just struck me too, of course, as we get older, health issues can pop up and whatever. And like, for instance, my brother-in-law passed away 6 months after he retired, and they had just planned on, it was just like a sudden heart attack, and they had planned on this life of travel and everything. Mm-hmm. So paying attention to our health, paying attention to taking those moments and doing those things when you're able to do them. But also concentrate on paying attention to wanting that longevity, wanting that long health span, which you and I talk about
all the time.
So often.
Right.
I mean, I'll be 67 on my next birthday. I still feel like pretty fit. I feel like I could do a lot of things. One of the things that I'm going to do is in this coming April, I'm going to Spain with my daughter, my oldest daughter, because at the time that she was studying abroad there, I had planned to go over and visit her. And of course, this is like 20 years ago. And I was having surgery and I couldn't go at the time, and I couldn't go. And just recently, my husband and my son went to Germany to visit where my mother-in-law was born. They had fled Germany in the 1930s. My mother-in-law was a German Jew. And so they went to her town, and they were able to find the places where they owned businesses. And they even found the little brick with the uncle's name on it. And so I thought that was such a special experience for my husband and son to share. They actually were there on her birthday in her little town where she was born. So that was really an emotional thing. And so they did that. And I said, well, I want to do this with my daughter. I didn't get to do that with her when she was in school. I did get to do that with my youngest daughter while she was studying abroad in Prague. And I went over and we did like a riverboat cruise and we did all that. So I just think it's important to have those moments with the kids. Mm-hmm. And it's never too late, right?
Never.
It's never too late. Fortunately, my daughter is a teacher. She's got spring break. And so we're able to do it. Her husband is absolutely wonderful. He's watching the 3 kids, and the 2 of us are just going to go off and do that.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So I think as I'm pushing 70, I might not wait till 70 to do this letter because I do want to take the time, like I said. So I may do it for my 67th or 68th birthday and send out a letter because I really enjoy spending time in those experiences.
I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would include in my letter is I would say, let me know if I can do this for you.
True. Yeah.
When you're ready.
Right. You might want to think about this for your next birthday or a future birthday.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the good china. Don't save it.
Right.
And let me know if I can get my good china out for you. Yeah. I think that is something that if there's one thing I enjoy more than anything else, it would be, let's sit down and have a meal together. Mm-hmm. That really is one of my favorite things to do with people I care about is have a meal together.
Well, being Italian.
Well, yeah.
It's all about the meals.
Mangia. That's right. Mm-hmm.
And spending time at the table. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. So I know that you shared no thrill seeking. Is there anything else that you wouldn't want on the list?
I'm not going naked anywhere. She said the whole nudist colony thing. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. No, forget it. Don't even ask. Don't even ask.
Yeah. I think for me, mostly it is like the thrill-seeking stuff. I don't think I could do that. And I also don't like being underwater. So don't ask me to go scuba diving. Or
I'm already a scuba diver, so that's not an issue.
I get claustrophobic.
I'm not going to skydive, so that counts as thrill-seeking.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I don't know. I mean, I'll go try and do most anything. I mean, you've seen my finger puppets.
Yes.
Really. So I'll pretty much...
You got to bring those back. Yeah. You have to bring them onto this podcast. I don't think we've had them on the podcast.
That's one of my favorite things to do. I don't think that there's really anything... I don't know. I tried to think about, while I was preparing for the podcast today, I tried to think about, is there really anything I wouldn't want to do? And I mean... She does say in the article, people propose things like eating insects or bugs or whatever. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That is one that I won't do.
Yeah. Things
I'm
like
sure
that.
they're tasty. People have said they're tasty. I just can't get past it.
Right.
Just can't get past the little crawly things.
The other thing is I'm not a big outdoorsy kind of person. So
see, I am. I like to be outdoors.
I don't want to camp.
Yeah.
Joy does not camp, hunt, or fish.
Yeah. I'm not a big camper, but I think if somebody suggested it, for one night, I would do it. Maybe glamping.
Glamping, sure. But that's more of a comfort thing. Yeah. I don't know. I'm the kind of person that if it really mattered to the person who was proposing the idea, then for the most part, I would put aside my aversion and I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. If it wasn't something, like you said, like if it wasn't extreme. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. Something that's going to make you throw up.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
Not interested in that.
Yeah.
So, but aside from that, I pretty much am open to any kind of an experience because I feel like most experiences, well, all experiences really, they're going to teach you something, you know? Yeah. And as I look back on my life, I've really had some amazing experiences already. And a lot of them I've had with you.
Yeah.
Think of all the places you and I have been together.
Yeah. One of my favorite ones was laying in the desert.
Oh, yes.
With the sound therapy.
Yeah.
And Sedona.
Sedona was...
The vortexes.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Sedona was amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
For me, having coffee in that square in Italy.
In Italy. Mm-hmm.
Come on.
It was like, look where we are.
We're right in the middle of under the Tuscan sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do it again.
I know.
We're going to do it again.
Mm-hmm. We are going to do it again, by the way.
Yeah.
Look for links all over our stuff about that because there's another trip coming up. So.
Yeah. So who do you think everybody will respond? Do you think that most people you send it to will respond with some kind of an experience?
Well, I would only send it to people I really love. So yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that. She's got 70 people that she considers her inner circle, people that she loves.
Yeah.
Who she included on this email. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. I think I could do it.
70 people?
I've got 18 first cousins.
Well, that is true.
But if you really count up all the people in your life that you love, friends, family, You'd be surprised, I think. I'm sometimes amazed, like, when you look at your friends list, like on social media or whatever, I'm like, I know that many people. And then I actually will go through them. And yes, I know them intimately, like that many people. So I think you would surprise yourself. You probably would have tons more that you could add to the list.
Well, a lot of them, I wonder if I'd be able to find them. Like close friends from school and college and graduate school who have gotten away. We've lost touch.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you could find them. Social media. For a lot of people, you can find them. Yeah.
I hope they're finding me and listening to all the podcasts.
That's true. That's true. Let us know. Let us know if you're out there.
That's right. And I have to say, we're going to talk a lot about creativity in the next podcast episode.
Yeah.
But that is also a big bucket list item for me, the creativity aspect. And you and I get to do that all the time.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And those experiences, you can go paint together. You can go karaoke. Karaoke.
Megan said in her article, she went to writers' events. Just got done at my writers' room collective a couple of weeks ago. And so, those kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah. You can share with friends.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. You can probably count me in for about 20 of your experiences, at least.
No, probably. I really, you and I are very simpatico.
Yeah.
So probably most things we would be lined up
we
on.
went, what is it called? Truffle hunting together.
That's right. We went truffle hunting together.
And Joy actually ate a truffle right out of the ground.
That's right. And it tasted like dirt. But it was yummy dirt. It was Italian dirt. It's gourmet dirt.
Right. And then they cooked later with it, and it was delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A raw truffle is an interesting experience for sure. But I encourage you to try it because there I was in Italy with a lovely group of women.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing experience. I mean, really, I've had a lot of amazing experiences already. So I would love to see the Northern Lights. I've never seen that. And I would also love to attend Cheryl Strayed's workshop in Chamonix, France. That would be wonderful. And, things like that. So I feel like this would just be an opportunity to really sit down and say, what pleases me?
Yeah, travel is a big one for me. And in the next year, I said, I'm going to Spain. I'm going with my husband and friends to Scotland.
When are you doing that?
In May. I will be arriving in Scotland on my 67th birthday.
Oh, wonderful.
And I am of Scottish descent. I have done my ancestry DNA.
What in the world, Lorraine? You're like Heinz 57 over there.
I am. And so I plan on whipping out my DNA in a pub in Scotland and saying, let's party.
And saying, give me some haggis and put some marinara on it. Wow. Okay.
So, and
let's party.
And then our retreats, which we're going to talk about, Sicily and Tuscany. And I just plan on doing a lot of travel. On my bucket list in the past few years, Alaska, got to do that with my husband, got to do the St. Lawrence River. And so big bucket list, and I'm trying to check them off. And so now I know I can reach out to friends and family and see if they would like to be included.
I love that idea. I love it. Maybe that could be like an ongoing project. Maybe it doesn't have to be just a collection of, because I feel like she crammed a lot. One way she said she dealt with that is she extended her birthday year past her actual birthday, right? She couldn't get it all done in 12 months. You got to go read this article. It's really a good article.
And we will post a link to it in the
description. But she said, okay, I extended my birthday past that 12-month period, right? And a lot of us now, the birthday month is a thing. You celebrate your birthday for the whole month. I don't really do that, but some people do.
I don't either.
Yeah. So that's one way to do it. But another way to do it is to maybe shoot for just one special experience a month.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah, for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Why not?
Yes, I agree. I
kind of do that anyway, really, if I'm thinking about it. Like, for example, the podcasting. For me, that's a very, very satisfying task is to get together and we podcast. And that's also true for Everyday Macaroni. I love that podcast. I really do. So that satisfies me in a creative kind of way. The other thing is I try to write to just keep my creative juices flowing as often as I possibly can. We're going to talk about that more in the next episode. I feel like they're running together a little. Yeah. So I'm kind of the mind that if you don't feel like you can do the 70 things or the 65 things or 67 things or the 50 things.
You do the one a month. You do 12 things a year, but make it a point to actually do it.
Right.
And I know that, like you just said, things kind of run together. And that's why we chose these two to be back to back, really, because it is true. Creativity is such a big part of those experiences that you want to have for so many people. And then so in the next episode, we'll talk about that phase of life where now's the time when you can embrace it.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that conversation too. So how often do you think you will participate? Like if you did send out that list, how often do you think you would be able to do it? Do you think you could break it up into 1 year, or you think it would? I like your idea. I like it to just be a continuous thing. If you don't get to all of them in that 1 year, you just keep it going and then just reach out to those people, say, okay, what are we going to do this year?
Right. I think that's a great idea. And I think a part of it needs to also be, how can I do this for you? So I love how she did it. She is my kind of person.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my task. Here's my goal. Here's my mission. I'm going to do it. I'm going to knock it out. I'm that kind of person too. There's that person inside of me. You have to be that way if you're going to be a successful practitioner of the law.
And what I love about her also is she's inspiring other people to do it too.
Oh, I love it.
So she's a writer. So she took the time, right? She kept a journal of everything that she did for the year and then shared this article. And it is not a long article, but a very informative article.
Yes.
And just the fact that she's inspiring so many other people to the fact that she couldn't be on our podcast because she's got so many interviews. But we will share this with her. And Megan, we thank you for writing this article, for the inspiration, because now Joy and I are both going to do this.
Oh, we're totally going to do it.
And then we're going to share about it.
Yes, we'll share about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I sense a very Elizabeth Gilbert Eat, Pray, Love book coming on.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking about that, Megan, you need to be.
Yeah.
Because what an incredible book this could be.
Yeah.
She mentions her 3 friends, how they would meet up and do something. And one of them has passed away. And so, there's a story there. And I'd like to hear it.
Yeah. So why don't you out there let us know, what would you include in your letter? What experiences would you want to have? What experiences would you not want to have? Do you agree with Joy and I? But I know there are so many thrill seekers out there. So I would love to hear what they are willing to do. And just pop them in the comments and let us know, or shoot us an email. girlishgurus@gmail.com.
That's right.
Because we would love to hear about it. And anybody out there, if you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, we would love to interview you and hear all about your ideas.
Please let us know.
Yeah.
We are intensely curious about what you're thinking.
Yeah, especially women in our phase. And you know that Joy is a Gen Xer.
I am.
And I'm a baby boomer. So anybody can be in this group of women, right? This is that next phase where we're really looking to serve our passions and our purpose.
Right. 45 and older. If you're in that group, come on over.
Yeah.
And don't forget to give this episode a like, a share, and subscribe to our podcast, our YouTube channel if you're watching on that. And just join our community, because the more interaction we get, the more content we can create. And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
To have fun, create content, and to teach you a few things along the way.
Yeah. And we so appreciate each and every one of you. And
we do.
We hope to hear from you.
We do. Absolutely. Don't forget to check out the show notes if you want to read this article. It's a very good one. Also, you can check out our Cracktober recipes. I know we're in November, but still, check out those recipes. They're great for fall.
Yeah.
You can find that on our website.
And we'll put a link to that also.
Right.
Yeah.
In the show notes. And stay tuned for more fun and interesting topics. Let us know if there's anything you would like us to discuss. We would love to hear from you. And if there's anything in the new year coming up that you'd like us to do a deep dive on, we'll be happy to do it.
Thanks for being part of our community.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Girlish Gurus. We hope you'll join us next time for more fun and inspiration. Be sure to check the description of this episode for links and information about the topic, and you can find us on our social media platforms starting with Instagram, Facebook, and now including YouTube. You can find us by searching Girlish Gurus, and you can also check out our website, girlishgurus.com, for more information on us, our projects, books, and our growing community.
And don't forget to download this episode, give it a good review, and share it with your girlfriends. We would also love to hear from you in the comments, because the more interaction we get, the more episodes we can post. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.